when Scott first agreed that we were going to continue and pursue adoption, Inez was the first person that I talked to. By coincidence, I found her on a Google search. And we hadn't even started our home study process yet, but Inez probably took an hour to talk to us about the process and what adoption was going to look like and how it worked through Chicks in Crisis. And she told me to call back when she gave me a name of who I could work with for our home study, and then she told me to call back when we had gotten our home study sorted out.
Yeah, I remember you, after having that call, you went from this being something we were going to start to look into to you found the place, you know who you want to work with, it hit all your buttons of the things that really mattered to you. And you were just so excited about it.
It's true.
And then quickly we matched with someone else and went a completely different direction.
Right. We hired an attorney. Oh,
The home study.
we hired the home study agency, and the home study agency, we matched actually with a person that didn't have an agency that they were working with. So we ended up not working with Chicks in Crisis for our first adoption attempt. And we matched with a woman who was in her first trimester. And we paid a lot of money in birth parent expenses. And that adoption ended up not working out. And when that adoption fell through, the first thing I wanted to do was call Chicks in Crisis. I had been talking about how, although we were working with this other agency, I had always wanted to be with Chicks in Crisis because Inez just had said a few things that really touched me. One thing in particular, remember, Inez said that adoption isn't her number one goal for her business, but it's actually to help women keep their babies and have healthy life situations for them. And if that doesn't work out, then adoption is the second choice. And I really loved hearing that from her. And I felt like that.
Yeah, that the focus was keeping the
families
family together.
together.
If there was any way to do that, enabling the women to be able to keep their kid if that's what they wanted to do.
So after that adoption fell through, we were matched for 8 months, and then the mom gave birth and never called us. We called Inez soon after, and we were lucky enough to get in, and
It
was
took a little
probably-
begging, didn't it?
it took a little bit of begging, but I think it was about 6 weeks after that she called us with a possible birth mother, and a few weeks after that there was a baby born, and that mom actually did decide to keep her baby, but the one thing was that Chicks in Crisis stood by her and tried to help her as much as they possibly could, one way or the other, and they stuck by us and tried to help us as much as they could. And just a few months after that, we matched with Bee's mom, and they had been helping Bee's mom for months, and we matched with her during her third trimester, and we really couldn't be happier. It sounds like Bee could be happier, but she couldn't either.
What is it? What's the matter? What's the matter? I think we have an interesting perspective because we worked with another agency and then Chicks in Crisis, and the other agency, while not necessarily an unethical adoption agency, their goal was on placing. It was on making sure that the babies went from the birth mother to the adoptive parents. And with Chicks in Crisis, we could tell that wasn't necessarily, they weren't focused on just turning through families, but on really creating families.